Buhari inaugurates Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board. Nigeria strengthens partnership with United States on humanitarian support. Plus, reopening of schools for exit classes. Correspondent takes a look at the preparedness for examinations. Hello everyone, good afternoon. This is Panorama reaching you live from the NTA Enugu Network Center. I am Chinenye Nwoye. President Buhari says more resources will be allocated by the federal government towards completing infrastructure projects across the country, especially those being undertaken by local contractors and technology as a deliberate attempt at sustaining the creation of jobs for Nigerians. This was at the virtual inauguration of the new headquarters building of the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board in Yenagoa at Bayelsa State. The president expressed the belief that provision of job opportunities and infrastructure that supports businesses are essential means of addressing challenges of security. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
The iconic 17-story building known as the Nigerian Content Tower, with the full complements of a 10 megawatts gas-powered power plant and 1,000-seater capacity conference center, was inaugurated by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timothy Silva, on behalf of the President. Addressing participants at the ceremony virtually, President Muhammadu Buhari said the completion of the project reflects his administration's infrastructural development drive towards attracting investment, creating jobs, and further enhancing efforts at lifting millions of Nigerians out of poverty.
With commissioning of this project, I want to highlight that we have put in place a landmark of reference in the Niger Delta to reflect long-lasting legacies that signpost the years of oil and gas exploitation, and I assure you that there is more to come. I must commend the Nigerian Content Board for the successes recorded in the last 10 years since its formation. The edifice is a befitting birthday gift as you mark your 10th year anniversary as a regulator and developer of local content in the oil and gas industry.
Describing local content as critical in all activities of Nigeria's national life, especially with the prevailing coronavirus pandemic, the president expressed the belief that production and patronage of goods and services locally are part of the surest ways to empower the citizens and give them viable opportunities to excel in their chosen professions and business endeavors.
Local content and self-reliance are the key principles of the recently approved 2.3 trillion Naira National Economic Sustainability Plan. The plan is aimed at the promotion of local production, local services, local innovation, and the use of local materials. It is imperative that we must produce what we eat and produce enough of our requirements and more for export. All these policy directives and programs are also meant to address some of the causative factors of insecurity.
Already, he said, 2 executive orders have been issued relating to enforcing local content in public procurement and contracts towards further replicating the successes being realized in the oil and gas sector. President Buhari congratulated the people of Bayelsa State for being the proud host of the landmark edifice in the heart of the Niger Delta. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
The federal government says progress has been achieved towards reversing the United States suspension of the issuance of immigrant visas. This is contained in the report of the Committee on Citizen Data Management and Harmonization submitted to President Muhammadu Buhari. Again, State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the report.
The committee, chaired by the Minister of Interior, Rauf Arebeshola, was set up in February this year to address issues that led to the U.S. temporary visa restrictions on Nigerian passport holders. The suspension does not, however, apply to other U.S. visas such as those for official, business, tourism, and student travel.
All the issues and concerns that led to the imposition of visa restriction by the United States of America have been reviewed and processes put in place or proposed to address them, sir. Out of 6 areas of concern raised by the USA, Nigeria had fully satisfied 2. 2 are substantially satisfied, while some progress have been made on the remaining 2.
The committee, amongst others, recommended the establishment of a national identity data bank, national criminal information management system, and a national criminal DNA laboratory to aid criminal investigation, administration of criminal justice, as well as sharing of relevant information. President Muhammadu Buhari, who commended the committee for its patriotic diligence in carrying out the assignment, assured Nigerians and the international community of the timely implementation of the committee's recommendations after due consideration. He noted with delight the progress made by Nigeria towards the removal of the visa restrictions already acknowledged by the United States government.
The implementation in the report will fully address all outstanding issues that led to the visa restrictions. Government remains committed to sustaining the follow-up for the removal of the visa restrictions by the United States of America and developing a credible, harmonized national identity data management system.
The committee's recommendations, he explained, are capable of addressing the concerns raised by the U.S. government as well as lead to the development of a reliable national citizen identity data management system.
An effective citizen data management system is critical for socio-economic planning, improved service delivery, and good governance, as well as national and global security. It also has the overarching benefit of enhancing the integrity of the nation's citizens' identity instruments for the purpose of information sharing.
At a news briefing shortly after, Interior Minister Rauf Arebeshola announced that the harmonization of all existing data in the country must be completed by the end of June next year.
INEC should collaborate with NIMC and NOA to utilize the NIN in voters' validation exercises for upcoming elections and work towards ensuring that all eligible voters are issued NIN latest, absolutely latest, by 31st December 2022.
We are now working on blockchain technology, which will ensure 100% integrity and credibility of data, which is a part of our new emerging technologies. When that is enforced in place, then the issue of data manipulation, it will never happen, inshallah.
An implementation committee is soon to be constituted to further study the recommendations and develop a workable action plan in the best interest of Nigeria. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News. NTA News.
The United States of America is sustaining and strengthening collaboration with the Nigerian government in areas of humanitarian support and other critical interventions. U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, Mary Beth Leonard, reassured of the continued working relationship between the two governments during a courtesy visit to the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports.
The visit serves as platform for advancing issues relating to humanitarian support and bilateral cooperation in dealing with consequences of human and natural disasters. U.S. Ambassador specifically appreciates Nigeria's efforts in addressing insecurity, displaced persons, and the vulnerable groups in the society, and pledged to sustain the partnership.
We are the largest humanitarian donor. We are also one of the biggest donors internationally and in Nigeria in the area of health. And you should expect that the United States will remain a steadfast partner for Nigeria.
Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, described U.S. as a strategic partner in critical times and promised to uphold the friendship for the benefit of both countries.
The government of Nigeria recognizes their efforts to support citizens in their condition and their need of humanitarian support. Their work is holy, and their work is something that you cannot repay them.
The ambassador presented the outgoing USAID Nigerian Mission Director Stephen Aiken to the minister, describing his 5 tenure as remarkable and rewarding to Nigeria. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
The Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria says it will continue to sustain dialogue with the federal government in meeting up with its demands. President of the union, Josiah Belomoye, was speaking shortly after a session with top officials and relevant bodies of the union in Abuja. Belomoye's situation occasioned by COVID-19 in the country puts the call for strike at a time.
So much importance to the very poor masses of Nigeria. I am not going to close the door on dialogue, but dialogue cannot be inexhaustive.
To continue to offer services to the Nigerian populace, especially now that the coronavirus pandemic remains top amongst other excruciating health issues in the world. The Nigerian military says its air task force of Operation Lafia Dole has eliminated scores of Islamic State of West Africa province ISWAP fighters and destroyed compounds housing them at Tongule in the Lake Chad area of the northern Borno. A statement from the Directorate of Defense Media Operations indicates that the airstrikes were conducted on 12 August 2020 following credible human intelligence reports indicating terrorist activities in the village. Following this confirmation through surveillance missions, the Air Task Force dispatched Nigerian Air Force fighter jets to attack the location, leading to the destruction of the structures as well as the neutralization of several ISWAP fighters. The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, has commended the Air Task Force for their dedication. The Minister of Aviation, Senator Hadi Sirika, has described as unacceptable the destruction of the newly constructed concrete fence of the Akanu Ibiam International Airport, Enugu, by an individual. The minister was in Enugu to inspect the level of damage on the perimeter fence, which is one of the component contracts in the Enugu Airport Rehabilitation Project. Susan Eze has the report.
Perimeter fencing of the Enugu Airport, currently undergoing rehabilitation, is one of the projects expected to be completed and delivered alongside the runway and other associated works on the 30th of August 2020, as promised by the Minister of Aviation. However, about 2 kilometers of the airport fence and some private property were on Wednesday pulled down by bulldozers allegedly deployed by one Mr. Jerry Emejulu, who is allegedly laying claims to the property. Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika is here for an on-the-spot assessment of damages on the airport's property.
The individual will certainly be dealt with maximally. Also an opportunity for government to show that no one can take the law into his hands and willfully destroy national asset belonging to 200 million of all of us.
Member representing Enugu East and issues of federal constituency reacts to the incident.
We need to condemn it and say what is bad is bad. Nobody who is a human being will see the effort of federal government to upgrade the Enugu and when they are to distract, that making of destruction.
Enugu State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi also visited the scene and condemned the act in its entirety. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
We'll take a break here. Panorama continues in a moment. Do stay.
For now, the best and most efficient way to avoid getting infected is through regular hygienic and sanitary practices, as well as social distancing. As individuals, we remain the greatest weapon to fight this pandemic. By washing our hands regularly with clean water and soap, disinfecting frequently used surfaces and areas, coughing into a tissue or elbow, and strictly adhering to infection prevention control measures in health facilities, we can contain this virus.
Coronavirus is real. Steps to avoid this pandemic. Wash your hands regularly or sanitize your hands. Keep social and physical distancing. Avoid crowded places. Stay at home unless absolutely necessary. Don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth if your hands are not clean. Avoid the spread of coronavirus. Coronavirus is real.
Back and now to COVID-19 update. The latest update on COVID-19 from the Nigerian Center for Disease Control shows that as at August 13, 2020, Nigeria has recorded 373 new COVID-19 cases. This number, recorded from 19 states and the FCT, now brings the total number of confirmed cases to 48,116 so far. In the breakdown of the figures, Lagos State is leading with the chart with 69 cases, while Osun State trailed with 41 cases. Oyo and Kaduna has 40 cases each, FCT 35, Plateau 22, Rivers 19, Kano and Ondo has 17 cases each. Others are Abia State with 14 cases, Gombe 12, Imo 9, Enugu 7, Kwara 6, Delta 5, Niger 2, Borno, Bauchi, and Nasarawa states a case each. The release shows that a total of 34,309 persons have been discharged, while the country has recorded 966 deaths so far. Ahead of the August 17 date for the West African examinations, most public and private secondary schools in Enugu State are rounding off revision classes for students in the exit classes while adhering to the COVID-19 safety protocols. Our correspondent visited some schools in the metropolis to know the level of compliance with the set NCDC guidelines as well as the preparedness for their examinations. This is a revision class on mathematics held in one of the secondary schools in Enugu for students in the exiting class. A visit to various schools showed that the level of compliance with the COVID-19 safety protocols, including physical distancing, wearing of face masks, and washing of hands, was quite impressive.
I know that wearing the face mask is kind of inconveniencing, but at least it's a safety measure to make sure that all of us are healthy and alive to write this examination.
The class that is containing people for the now 12 in the class with 2-meter specification.
While most schools made arrangements for hand washing and checking of temperature, the Enugu State government is also complementing the efforts.
Our governor provided face masks for every student, every child in Enugu State, and the same with hand sanitizers.
While there are concerns in some quarters on the level of success that will be recorded by these students in the forthcoming examinations, some key players in the education sector expressed optimism that it would record a huge success.
The Enugu State government ensured that we continue our teaching and learning though through radio. The serious students supposed to have been also on.
The federal government, through the Ministry of Education, had on the 27th of July this year announced that exiting classes of secondary schools will resume on the 4th of August to enable students prepare for their examinations. And that report forms our background for discussion today. And with me in the studio to talk on this is the chairman, Enugu State Post-Primary Schools Management Board, Mr. Nestor Ezeme. Sir, you're welcome to our studios.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, sir. And the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 directed that schools resume on August 4th for students in exit classes to prepare for their examinations. What was the level of compliance with the agreed protocols in schools?
Well, thank you. In Enugu State here, we are ready. Of course, we have resumed in earnest, and we provided all the basic amenities that are required by NCDC. And as we speak to you, we are preparing for our work on Monday. The students are in high spirit, and we are good to go.
Okay, now it's barely 2 days to the examinations. How prepared are the students?
Well, I believe that the students are adequately prepared, because over the past 4 months, when they were at home, we were on radio teaching them. Both the SS3 students and the JS3 students, we were on radio doing revisions for them and streaming live on Facebook and our website. So I am sure that they are ready. And these few days of revision, the teachers also were on board there to see that they cross the T's and dot the I's. So we are ready, basically. Okay. During the e-learning classes, do you think there were challenges that the students confronted? Naturally, the data problem and all that. But that's why we said, apart from the e-learning, let's go on radio, so that the people from the rural areas and poor parents who cannot afford data can also benefit from what we did. And I tell you, it was marvelous from the feedback we've gotten so far. Okay, now the world has gone digital. What methods are these students going to adopt in the examinations in terms of ICT? And how prepared are they to write the exams? Well, in Enugu State, here our governor has provided all schools with ICT centers. For the past 3 years, all our schools are ICT compliant. So I don't have any fears that our students will find it difficult. We are digital, let me put it that way. Okay, what of the curriculum? Were they able to cover it before this Monday date? Yes, that's exactly what we're saying. That's why we were on radio for 4 months. We covered everything, and the students, the results will show it. I'm confident that we are good to go. But there are still concerns in some quarters as to the likely performance in these examinations. Do you really think, how optimistic are you that these students will really do well? I am highly optimistic, except, of course, there are people that no matter what you do, they will not do well. But I am sure that 80% of our students will pass their way comfortably with the level of preparation we've made so far. Okay, so I will leave it here for now. Okay. I have been speaking with Mr. Nestor Ezeme. He is the chairman, Post-Primary Schools Management Board in Enugu State. As sports is next, golfing resumes in Abuja as non-contact sports gradually return, and this special